Hi, my name is Danny, and I'll be showing you how AI Bridge works today. So AI Bridge is a smart proxy for AI tools, and the way that it works is it exposes an API which masquerades as OpenAPI's API or Anthropic's API, so that tools like Claude Code or Cursor can communicate through AI Bridge instead of communicating directly to the upstream API providers. And then AI Bridge can intercept those requests, manipulate them, and then keep track of all of the token usage and things like that. So let me show you how this works. So for now, I'm going to be using the Claude Code tool, and I don't have it installed, so I'm going to install it now quickly. All right, and so when I log into Claude, it will automatically be configured because I have these environment variables set. I've got the Anthropic base URL set and the auth token. So the base URL is telling Claude Code to send all of its API requests to this endpoint and to use this auth token when doing it. And so as a user, I would just be using my Coder session token or any other Coder API key to authenticate against Bridge. So I don't need to be issued an API key for OpenAI or Anthropic directly. So now when I launch Claude, I'm going to say hi Claude, and so this request is going to get intercepted by AI Bridge, and we're going to track all of the token usage and all of that, and it's going to send the request on to Anthropic, and the response is going to get relayed to me in my client application here. So now I'm going to say list all your Coder tools. Now, because we're intercepting these requests, we can actually manipulate them as well. And Coder has an MCP server, and so we can automatically inject all of the tools from our MCP server into all of the requests that are flowing through AI Bridge. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how we can get Claude to use one of those tools. So I'm going to say, what is my Coder username? If I can actually spell. And so in the background, it's actually going to go and execute this tool here, Coder get authenticated user. There we go. And so that gave me the correct answer. Cool. And so now I'm going to show you how it works with OpenAI. So I'm going to switch to Cursor. And in Cursor, down here in models and then API keys, I've overridden the base URL, and I've configured my Coder session token here. And now let me show you a different example. Let's say I wanted to rename app hostname to app host. So let's do rename app hostname to app host. And now this is going to be communicating with AI Bridge once again, and all of these requests are going to get tracked, including the prompt, any tools that get invoked, and of course all of the tokens. So we can leave this for the moment. All right, so how does this all work? So in our template that I used to create this workspace, all I did was specify the base URL, and then for the auth token, I'm just using the workspace owner's session token. So when the workspace gets built, whoever is the owner of this workspace will have their session token automatically configured, and this is the way that you would configure it manually. With Cursor, the setup process is a little bit different. Users would have to either get issued an API key and then manually configure it this way in the Cursor settings, and we're looking for ways to automate that in the future. But that's not all, because now that we have this mechanism of managing MCP tools centrally, we can also inject tools from other providers. So for example, here under external authentication, in our Coder installation, I've got an external auth application here for GitHub, and I'm authenticated with GitHub. And in our settings, what I did was I added this extra environment variable here called MCP URL, and so this is pointing to the remote GitHub MCP server. And we can also set allow and deny patterns for the tools that we want to allow or deny users access to. And so now if I hop back to Claude, I can say, what GitHub tools do you have? And because this, again, is flowing through AI Bridge and we're intercepting and injecting those tools, now Claude will be aware of these tools. And so because of this centralized management of MCP, now you can roll out access to your team to particular tools in a very safe and auditable way, and we can, even in the future, enable policies to prevent users from being able to configure their own MCP tools. And so here we go. So for example, it's got the ability to list and update gists, but because we have a deny here for the create gist function, it's not shown in this list over here. Okay, and so now all of this information is getting saved to the database, and I want to show you a dashboard that we've created. So this is actually the real usage from the coder engineers over the past few days, and we can see that I'm firmly in the lead here in one aspect. And so now let me just filter just for my usage here. So we can see all of the usage for myself over the past few days. We can see the cost for each of the different models that I've been playing around with. So I've spent $152 over the past few days. And these are the interceptions over time. So these are the requests that AI Bridge is receiving and manipulating. And then I'm also tracking, we're also tracking the prompts and tools that are being used. So these are the prompts that you would have seen me execute just now, and some others that I used in preparation for this, and then all of the tool calls as well. And so if you'll recall, inside of Cursor, we told it to refactor a particular file, and so now it's reading a bunch of files, it's doing some grepping and all of that, and so that was going to OpenAI GPT 4.1, and then in Claude I'm using Sonnet 4.5, and you can see this is when we got it to execute that get authenticated user tool. So that's pretty much AI Bridge. So we would welcome any questions, and thanks for your time.